Does Jehovah really loyal servant? Well, we have the video introduction and the book of Daniel. We also see the Jehovah is really valuable, is loyal, and is servant.
Introduction to the book of Daniel. Daniel wrote this prophetic book in Babylon. He was taken to Babylon, likely as a young Judean prince, along with other nobles. In time, Daniel served as a government official for the Babylonians and later for the Medo-Persians. Daniel opens his book by relating events that began in 618 BCE, when he was still a young man. He completed his writing in approximately 536 BCE. Obadiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah were Daniel's contemporaries. They lived during a tumultuous period of Israel's history that included the destruction of Jerusalem. Daniel witnessed the Medo-Persian conquest of Babylon and the return of a faithful remnant of God's people to Jerusalem. However, he did not join those returning to Jerusalem, likely because of his advanced age. The book of Daniel has 12 chapters. Chapters 1 to 6 record in chronological order the experiences of Daniel and those of his three companions. Chapters 7 to 12 contain Daniel's account of prophetic dreams and visions that he received by inspiration. Chapters 1, 3, and 6 recount the various tests of integrity that Daniel and his Hebrew companions successfully meet. As young men, they reject food and drink that would make them unclean in God's sight. Sometime after this, Daniel's three companions, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, bravely faced death in a fiery furnace for refusing to worship an image representing the Babylonian state. Years later, despite an official decree prohibiting petitions to anyone but Darius, Daniel perseveres in prayer to Jehovah, and as a result, is thrown into a lion's pit. With each test, Daniel and his companions maintain their integrity, and Jehovah protects them. Chapters 2 and 4 describe how Jehovah gives Daniel the ability to interpret two of King Nebuchadnezzar's dreams. Each of these divinely sent dreams has prophetic significance. The first dream is of an immense image made of various metals. This image represents successive world powers that have had a major influence on God's people. The prophecy ends with the destruction of these powers, and with God's kingdom as the only government ruling over mankind. Nebuchadnezzar's second dream features a tree that reaches to the heavens. It is cut down, and the stump is banded for 7 times. This symbolizes an interruption of rulership. However, the stump is allowed to remain, indicating a restoration of rulership. Chapter 5 relates that handwriting miraculously appears on the wall of the palace where Babylonian King Belshazzar holds a feast. Daniel tells Belshazzar that the handwriting warns of the conquest of Babylon by the Medes and the Persians. Babylon falls that very night. Did you know? A large portion of the book of Daniel was written in the Aramaic language. Aramaic was commonly spoken in ancient times, having the same letters in its alphabet as did Hebrew. Chapters 7 and 8 describe the visions Daniel sees of a series of beasts that picture the rise and fall of Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. Also, Jehovah gives his Son an everlasting kingdom that will replace all human governments. Chapter 9 relates that Daniel discerns from his study of God's written word that the Jews' release from captivity is imminent. Next, we read that while Daniel is praying, an angel appears to him and reveals details concerning the Messiah. Chapters 10 to 12 discuss the event when an angel again visits Daniel, encourages him, and gives him an additional vision of the future. A large part of the prophecy describes a conflict between two kings locked in a struggle for supremacy. The fulfillment of the prophecy would extend to the final part of the days. The angel reassures Daniel of God's approval and tells him that, although he will soon rest in death, he will stand up in the resurrection at the end of the days. As you read this book, note how much Jehovah values Daniel's faithfulness, how Jehovah maneuvers kings and kingdoms according to his purpose, and how Jehovah gives his Son an everlasting kingdom that will replace all human governments.
From the video we just watched, we can see that Daniel's companion's conscience set them apart from the people of the world. But that shouldn't come to a surprise for us, because even Jesus Christ made it known to us that we will be hated by the world. Even when we are confronted with threats, we want to do all possible best to be loyal to Jehovah. Another aspect or threat that tends to affect God's servants today is what we call the fear of men. We tremble at the presence of men who oppose our faith. But our young ones are the ones most affected by this. They get opposition from their classmates that they do not participate in birthday celebrations, they do not take part in nationalistic celebrations like Christmas and the likes. So how can these young ones, how can their faith, or how can they be strengthened to have a conviction to give a good response to such opposition from maybe their classmates or even their teachers? Well, it is ample that parents should be at the forefront of their children, especially maybe when they are having their family worship. It will teach these ones how they can come to stand up to their faith, have a strong conviction what they know about Jehovah, what they know about Jehovah. And also likely, parents too can also support their young ones by going to their school, meeting their teachers or their principal, explaining their faith to them. So such children won't have much problems when they actually have to find themselves in school. For all this we have said and done, the thing is, the question I asked at the very beginning, does Jehovah really value loyalty from the servants? Well, I implore you all to join me to read the account of Daniel chapter 3, verse 26 to 29. Daniel chapter 3, 26 to 29. Nebuchadnezzar approached the door of the burning fiery furnace and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servant of the Most High, God, of the Most High God, step out and come here. Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego stepped out from the midst of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and the archofficials of the king who were assembled there saw that the fire had no effect on the bodies of these men. Not a hair of their heads had been singed. Their clothes looked different, looked no different, and there was not even the smell of fire on them. Nebuchadnezzar then declared, Praise be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and went against the command of the king, and were willing to die rather than observe or worship any god except their own God. I am therefore issuing an order that any people, nation, or language group that says anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego should be dismembered, and their houses should be turned into public latrines. But there is no God, other God, who is able to rescue like this one. You see the fine praise and admonition being given to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and most importantly, to Jehovah God. So if today you want to be